Hey, what's up, guys? Johnny Con here, aka Not Such a Conqueror. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Cthulhu and necronomicon energy. I've probably worked with almost half of the Goetics. I've worked with Lilith, I worked with Moloch, even Pazuzu. But for some reason, and it's kind of funny, but for some reason, like some of the most intense experiences have probably been from necronomicon magic. And those are the ones that a lot of people or occultists are ready to dismiss. That it's always the Necronomicon or H.P. Lovecraft is just fiction. But like I've said countless and countless of times, sometimes it's the intent that you put into the words or the books or the sigils, and when you really think about it, for many decades, the Necronomicon was really one of the only quote unquote like magic books that were available. Now imagine thousands of people trying out the rituals in the text. Imagine thousands of people putting in their intent over candles, actual occultists, and putting their intent into it. You can either say maybe it got some kind of mass, the words, the sigils in the Necronomicon, the 50 names of Marduk, etc. You can say that, or B, over many years, it actually created some kind of like thought form, and adding ritual, candles, and actual occultists putting in their intent. Maybe got some kind of mass. C, let's say Lovecraft got the ideas from his head, from his mind, from his imagination. He got them out of the void and put them down in words. A lot of magic has to do with your imagination. And sometimes it takes time, especially when you're developing astral senses or you're developing astral palaces or whatever. You got to keep on trying that. But anyways, someone with an imagination as vivid as Lovecraft, let's just say maybe he pulled down those words from the ether, from the void, and he put truth into words, if not a lot of it or most of it, the point being that I've experimented with some of the names of Marduk. I've experimented with some of the sigils. I've put them under my pillow at night, and I'll have dreams of Mesopotamian structures. I'll have just weird dreams. Calling on Cthulhu was one of the weirdest, deepest experiences. And like I said, I've worked with a lot of them. Almost half of the Goetics. No disrespect to the other entities. This was probably like the only one that had me like waking up after the dream or the nightmare at 3 a.m. and looking at my Necronomicon text. I'm all like, what the hell is this? What the hell did I just call on? I also had another experience where I was trying out a dream, like a hypnosis almost, from a friend. Shout out to Nocturnus. I did it as described. I was listening to the chant. I fell asleep. It was a dream of either life or death. Now, when I woke up, I swear to you, I saw an apparition. And I've seen apparitions before, but this was one of the first times where putting in the work actually conjured up one like out of nowhere, like it wasn't one that I just saw by accident, so it's just, life is funny that way, how many people dismiss the Necronomicon magic. How come I'm not saying correctly today? Oh damn, I don't know, but anyways, it's legit, and if you guys are interested in working with it, make sure you learn how to do banishings, learn how to do the material in the book, that helps you also, banish some of the things that you might conjure up or whatever. You know, some of that stuff in there is very interesting, and it will work. All right, just my thoughts on some of Lovecraft's work. All right, this is Johnny Khan, aka Not Such a Conqueror. Peace.